The hand grenade Cristian Romero dropped on the Tottenham hierarchy was probably his latest stride towards the N17 exit door. But the Argentine's brutal takedown of those who bear the brunt of responsibility for what is going wrong encapsulated the mood of pretty much every Spurs fan. Sign up for the football newsletter. Thank you. Tottenham captain Cristian Romero knew what he was doing after aiming a dig at the boardCredit, PA. Spurs fans have grown tired of Thomas Frank after he was pictured drinking from an Arsenal cupCredit, PA. Romero, holding up the squad's collective hands for yet another subpar display at Bournemouth, swiftly turned his artillery on the board. He said, "At times like this, it should be other people coming out to speak. But they don't, as has been happening for several years now. They only show up when things are going well, to tell a few lies." Romero knew exactly what he was doing. He is no fool. He is playing his own game, one which has an inevitable conclusion. Spain looks appealing this time of year, but at the same time he was speaking to and for the increasingly disaffected and angry fans. Read more football news. Supporters who have grown sick of empty promises, false claims, ambitions which are simply not backed by action. Yes, they are already heartily sick of Thomas Frank too. The Dane's latest faux pas, sipping from an Arsenal-branded coffee cup at the Vitality, summing up his missteps and own goals. Frank has lost everything that made him look the real deal at Brentford. His team is a reflection of a manager who no longer trusts himself to make a decision. Leaden-footed and listless, relying on hopeful long-range strikes and set pieces, defensively no less wide open than under Ange Postecoglou but with none of the attacking zest of the Aussies' early days. Most read in football. Best online casinos, top sites in the UK. Mickey van de Ven clashing with fans after the 3-2 loss to Bournemouth sums up the negativity around the club credit. X. Sky Sports PL. Pedro Porro was also involved in a confrontation with supporters after the game. Credit. Getty. Yes, Frank has been without his three best attacking players all season. Anyone would miss Dejan Kulusevski, James Maddison and Dominic Solanke. But injuries are part of football. Managers are employed to find solutions, not merely diagnose the problems. Just look at the video from the Vitality and count the number of times Spurs' possession on halfway or even in Bournemouth territory ended up with the ball at the feet of goalkeeper Guglielmo Vicario. That, more than the defeat itself, has sparked the negativity. The boos, jeers and now verbal confrontations between the travelling supporters and Mickey van de Ven, Pedro Porro and Palhinha, which led to Romero going nuclear. Yet the Tottenham troubles run far, far deeper than a manager who seems utterly out of his depth. Frank's failings are a symptom. The cause is above him. A fish, they say, rots from the head down. And that head is a contagion of pestilences. Getting rid of Daniel Levy, banned from his office at the training ground and bundled out of the club in a move that shocked everyone, may turn out to be the biggest mistake Enoch and the Lewis family could have made. With Levy at the club, he was the Aunt Sally for every frustration. Levy was blamed for the transfer strategy, for the poor managerial hires, for the apparent prioritization of commercial goals over ones on the pitch. Spurs' move to their sparkling £1 billion new home on the Tottenham High Road was supposed to springboard the club into the elite. But failing to invest in Mauricio Pochettino brought stagnation, followed by decline, The cracks that were covered up by the goals and quality of Harry Kane and Heung-min Son revealed as a gaping chasm. That stadium and the expectations it delivered now look like a sick joke, the atmosphere poisonous, the miserable football being served up even more depressing on such a sumptuous stage. Tottenham looked leaden-footed and listless against the Cherries' credit. PA. Getting rid of Daniel Levy may turn out to be a mistake as he took the blame for fan frustration. Credit. Getty. But with Levy's departure, ENIC no longer has any cover, anyone to blame, although you'd take a punt of unpopular sporting director Johan Lang being the next to carry the can. Indeed, Lang is a part of the problem, summing up the dysfunction. Why, with Fabio Paratici also on board, does the club have two people with the same job? On the field, Tottenham are back to where they were in 2004, the last time Arsenal won the title. Fighting relegation, mid-table at best, every game a test of endurance for the supporters. ENIC, then, could pin it on what they had inherited from Alan Sugar. No longer. This is their debacle, lock, stock and barrel. The January window is almost a third completed and Spurs' transfer activity so far has been all about players leaving, not arriving, adding to the sense of drift and inertia. Recommended stories. In truth, it doesn't matter who the manager is when the club is such a shambles. Top to bottom, it has rarely felt bleaker. Change is not enough. What is required now is a complete demolition and rebuild. But it is hard to see ENIC stumping up for that.